Hey guys, it's your boy Evan here, and if you missed how to draw Daredevil's head, click here. Today we're going to be drawing Daredevil's body. So we're going to begin by starting out with his trapezius muscle up here, and then we're going to lightly put in his shoulder muscle, the deltoids. And then next we're going to put in another oval to represent his bicep, and then another bigger circle here kind of to represent the big bulky part of his forearm. We're going to have his forearm out here, and since he's in a crouching position, we're going to draw his pec muscles on this along this guideline so we kind of stay in the right perspective. His left pec, which is closest to us, will be kind of like the bigger side, and his right pec muscle will be smaller because it's further away from us. And now moving on to his hand, the basic shape of the palm of the hand is like a block. Nothing complex or hard about that. Just draw kind of like a sketching a simple block here. And the hand itself follows a actual pattern. The knuckles here at the edge, and the same goes for like the fingers. And that pattern is simply the curve of the knuckles. Whatever set of knuckles that you're drawing, they will always follow this curved pattern. So you want to make sure you draw all the fingers along the same curved line here. So now we're going to go ahead and start putting in his pinky and making sure that it's a block shape for right now. We're going to keep it simple. Everyone can draw a block. And now we're going to draw his ring finger, keeping in mind that everything rests along that curved line that we drew earlier. And that's how you know if your fingers are drawn in the correct way or whatnot. Let's zoom in here a little closer. And now I'm going to have the fingers spaced out just a little bit. He's going to be holding one of his batons, the one he uses to beat up the bad guys. So I want to flesh out that finger a little bit more. And now it's time for his index finger. And with the index and the middle finger, we can kind of see the next side, the underside of the fingers. And so you always want to build your drawing with basic shapes first. This gives you the understanding that you need before you can proceed going on to the fleshing out of the form. And so now we're going to kind of draw in his baton that he's holding. And kind of get that in here. And you want to draw through the hand. A lot of people make the mistake of drawing their characters holding weapons, but they don't draw the weapon inside the hand. You want to make sure you do that. Now for his right arm, we're going to put in his shoulder over here. It's kind of small. His bicep right there, or his forearm muscle, I'm sorry. His bicep and his forearm muscle. And now we're going to put in his right hand, starting once again with a block shape. Whenever you draw the fist, you can always start with a block formation, a block shape. And this is the easiest one to draw. And once I get the block shape that I want, now I can go in and kind of put the thumb on the side. I'm going to just draw this rectangular shape right here for the thumb. Let me get my neat eraser ready. I want to take away some of my construction lines. And so when I know what I want with my construction lines, I can then move forward and go ahead and start fleshing out the finger some more. So you want to cut this box in half with this guideline I have right here. And you want to give almost equal amount of space for the two top fingers and then the two lower fingers. So here, as you can see on the top side of that guideline, I have the knuckles for his index finger and his middle finger. And then put his two butt palms underneath behind the thumb. And now we can go ahead and start fleshing out his index finger here. It will kind of stick out some. And then just under it, like a step, is the middle finger. And now we can go and start drawing the fingers going back in perspective. So you can see as you can make it kind of like an angular shape to represent the underside of the fingers. And then we're going to put in the line, separation lines for the ring finger and the pinky finger here. And the same technique. You want to go ahead and draw the underside of the fingers. And kind of just shade those in real quick, just to show that it is a different side of a plane, to give the drawing more dimension. And we can kind of just tweak it here, and you can use your own fists as reference too. Once again, I used a picture of myself to kind of like get the pose, or just use as reference. And now I can flesh these out some more. And now I want to draw his baton in this hand. And like I said earlier, you want to draw through the hand. Don't try and draw the top part and the lower part. And now it's time to use my old school ruler. Actually, I stole this ruler from my kids, so it's not my ruler. Don't tell nobody that. And I don't want his baton to touch his horn on his head, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of skip over the horn and leave a negative space line right there. I probably should have drew his baton a little bit higher, but no need. Normally, if this was like a real finished drawing, if I was doing it for a commission, then I would have his baton a little bit further from his head, or have it directly behind his head. You don't want to have two things touching edge to edge, like his baton and his head. That's called having a tangent, and you'll hear that sometimes in comics and animation, and just overall design. You don't want to have that. And that's the basic shape of Daredevil's body. I want to see if you can finish this drawing and just flesh out the rest of his upper body and just put in the finishing touches. Email me your drawing at evan@thecartoonblock.com and let's see what you got. I just might mention you in my next video. 26-year-old artist Milan, who lives in Bulgaria, sent me this cool Daredevil head sketch he did from watching my last tutorial. I love how he added more rendering and shading to it and really put his own touch on it. Nice job. And if you want to see more of my sketches and you're interested in getting tips on how to break into animation and comics, then click the link and grab my sketchbook. It's now available for digital download.